There's a lot of guys that go crabbing, and there's a lot, there's not many guys that go crabbing and make it, it's their job.
Yep.
So to be able to take it from this to this, it's every little detail needs figured out and ironed out and tried and failed and come up back to the drawing board and whatever. I mean, down to every little thing. So it was a disaster for a while. Well, it still is some days. But.
And there's always those moments, and especially early on in a company, and that's one of the reasons we kind of all wanted to pull this podcast together was, have people that have built businesses, built brands on. And we can talk about the fun stuff now, but really let's talk about what it took to get there. You know what I mean? And to me, if we can go back and look at those first 3 or 5 years, like if you had to share with me 3 things that you think you could have just been better at, you brought up one about arrogance. Golly, man, we all have it at that late teens, early 20s, especially if you got any kind of alpha in you, right? Like, I'm bright, dude, I'll figure this shit out. Do you think being a little more open-minded would have maybe, increase the learning curve a bit instead of being so, dude, I'll figure it out. Don't worry. What's some of the things you'd say if you went back and did it again, you would maybe have a different attitude or a different approach to?
One thing for sure that I would tell myself then, although I wouldn't listen then, even if I, whatever, but the thing that I found more I work and business develops and even into the new businesses I'm getting into, time is truly the most valuable thing you have. It's the most valuable thing anybody has. And so it's the most expensive thing that somebody would be willing to give you. You know what I mean? So I would tell people, even if you think that somebody is wrong, within reason, even if you think somebody might be dead wrong, it is always worth taking the time if they're willing to share anything with you. Because even if they're dead wrong, then you know what not to do. You know what I mean? Or when that situation that you guys are talking to or whatever comes up, then you can think about, I listened to this guy, he did this or that, and he said this, and I might be able to pull this much out of it, but that's this much less that you have to figure out, because even this much of something is days, months, years, sometimes of trial and error or, whatever. So that is definitely something I would say, like, if somebody's willing to talk to you, give you their time, you really ought to take it. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I still do sometimes. Like, I'm fascinated by the entire industry, the commercial fishing industry, and people in it. And, I will go and drive around or walk around a wharf for hours just looking at different boats and how they're set up and what they're set up to do and how they do it. And I love to watch other guys fish. And the funny thing about crabbing is that every single person does it differently. And every single person that does it is 100% confident that is the absolute best and only way to do it, is the way that they do it. Yet every single guy does it differently. So if you can kind of take from there, yada, yada, you know what I mean? Apply principles or whatever into your system. I mean, that's kind of how you build the best, or build the best for you.
Absolutely.
System. Or come up with new things. I'm always trying to take inspiration from other things, other industries, everything, and apply it to what I'm doing.
Yeah, and I feel like, too, that's sometimes where I don't understand why industries don't want new blood to come in, right? Because if not, then it just turns into this, ancestral gene pool, right? Everybody just keeps doing the same shit everybody's doing. But it's not until you interject new blood, new ideas where an industry can really start to change a little bit, and not to be all punny for what you do, but a high tide does raise all boats. You know what I mean? So it's like, sometimes I feel like there's that closed-mindedness and competitiveness where it's like, no, we've always done it this way. We don't want anybody to come in. That is not the way to look at it for what's best for the industry to continue to grow, thrive, and prosper.
I could not agree with you more. And the commercial fishing industry is the blackest kettle. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? It is the poster child for what you exactly said, where it's all these generational things and people, and methods and all this stuff. And they're very resistant to change, or people coming in from the outside. And I understand, I get it. Like, part of the thing that I love about the industry that I'm in is that I get to go to work. I get to do my own thing on my own time, on my own schedule. And I get to come in and sell my product, and that's it. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to be told what to do. I don't want this. I don't want that. It's the reason I'm working twice as hard for half the money is to have those luxuries. You know what I mean? So I understand it, but you also have to I feel like you also have to understand, especially in the industry that I'm in and in the area and the state and everything, you know, our industry is dying and there's no young people, very, 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 very few young people. The barrier to entry, getting into it, the barrier to entry is higher than ever. The profit margins are lower than ever. And people, a lot of the people that are still in the, still in the industry are holding on tooth and nail to the things that they've been doing for so long. And I understand that. I really do. They don't want to change now. They're getting older. They're getting of the retirement age. Why change now? I get it. But the fact of the matter is we don't have the same fishery. The ecology of the bay is changing. The regulations are changing. The way the world is moving is changing. The way products are being marketed is changing. And in my opinion, for the most part, we are past the tipping point in this industry for, just doing it the same way they've been doing it for 200 years. I love and I respect 100% the heritage and the people that are in it and the people that are still doing it and the people that came before me. I couldn't respect them anymore. But coming into the industry with kind of a fresh perspective, not being in it, I think has actually helped me in a way. It was a struggle at first,
Mm-hmm.
It was the long, slow way to do it. But I think that I've kind of, I don't know. I think I've definitely, I kind of see the industry in a different way, a more modern light that a lot of
Mm-hmm.
people that are in it don't see because they've just been in it for so long, which is understandable.
Yeah. No, and that actually brings a great segue to another point that I wanted to talk about, and that is social media. I mean, obviously it has been, and I think people don't understand, like a lot of work goes into that too. Guys, thanks so much for watching the clips. If you would like, please subscribe. Also, if you'd like more clips like this, click here. Or if you'd like to enjoy this whole episode, click here.